About 3 months ago, I did a video just like this one. And recently I saw my guy TLTG Reviews do a wrap-up video of some controversial designer fragrance releases from this year, and he inspired me to do a follow-up on my video from 3 months ago, focusing on 5 relatively new releases that I've spent a little bit of time with over the past couple months, some a little bit more than others because some are newer than others. Some of my opinions may offend some of you. If you find yourself offended, follow these quick steps. Number 1, pause the video. Number 2, get up from whatever your seated position is. Number 3, lie on the floor. Number 4, roll like a log back and forth a few times. Number 5, do 10 push-ups. Number 6, get up, drink a glass of water, a full glass of water. Number 7, walk outside, breathe some fresh air. Number 8, come back inside. Number 9, sit down in the original seat you just left. Number 10, ask yourself, am I still offended? You probably won't be. Anyway, I don't know what that was, but let's dive into my raw opinions of these 5 new and popular fragrances. Let's start with the hot one from Dior, Sauvage Eau Forte, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, because this fragrance has gotten some very interesting feedback over the past several months since its release, and I've been really trying to get to the bottom of why people don't like this fragrance, especially next to the critical acclaim, the high likability, the incredible stalwart fragrance that is the original Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, and the very profitable snowball that it's created. So what happened with this one? Well, I think people were disappointed. Number 1, because it doesn't really smell like Dior Sauvage. It's something kind of different. There's just a little tiny bit in the core of this scent. Number 2, the white stuff. I get it. It is a little weird. Water-based fragrances are not really the norm. They're going to be weird to most of you who are used to alcohol-based. Honestly, I myself am used to alcohol-based stuff as well, but I kind of became more interested in this type of fragrance because I like the idea of not drying out my skin with alcohol, so I don't mind that so much. Number 3, a lot of people claim that this stuff does not perform at all. If that is your experience, then that is your experience. Honestly, it may not be completely accurate. Your nose is not perfect. When I've worn this fragrance, I've gotten every bit of almost 10, 11, 12 hours of longevity on my skin. I've seen people claim 30 minutes. Are they wrong? No, but once again, they just may not be accurate unless your skin is sandpaper, in which case, please drink more water. And the final reason I think people don't like this very much is going back to the first reason, which is the scent itself. Not only does it not really smell like Dior Sauvage, it's kind of a little strange. It is a strange scent profile that doesn't really smell like anything else. You guys know me, I like that. That is one of the main reasons I like this fragrance, because it doesn't really smell like anything else that I own. Francis Kurkdjian, the new in-house perfumer for Dior, a lot of people were really looking forward to what he would do with the Dior Sauvage DNA. I think we can hardly call this a part of the Sauvage DNA, but I'm not necessarily mad at that, but I do see how it's confusing. But I think he actually gave us something really special. The LME resin in here might rub some people the wrong way. It is very prominent in this fragrance. It is this piney, green, coniferous, slightly sweet, sappy, like tree sappy smell to the scent that is otherwise fresh and maybe a little spicy. Definitely a little creamy and watery as well. Lavender is all up and down in this fragrance, as we expect from this DNA, but that's about all that ties it to the original Dior Sauvage. So it's a little strange, but I really like it. I love the wearing experience. I like how it dries down on the skin. I think the opening is the weirdest part. I don't recommend trying it for the first time up close, either on skin or on paper. Let it come to you, let it waft. Either way, you still might think it's a little strange because it's different. Different isn't always bad, and once it dries down, it becomes, at least in my experience, a very likable scent that is very versatile and very unique. I really like Dior Sauvage Eau Forte, and I think people are going to come around to this in time. It's going to be a little bit like it was with Dior Homme 2020, where people hated it at first because it was different, because it was not what they expected, and now look at it. People are raving about it, and this has happened with many fragrances over the past several years. Creed Aventus Cologne. Hell, even the original Dior Sauvage was one of those. It's just funny to see how things change, and I think things will change with this one. Let me know what you think. Up next is also a new release from the house of YSL. It was sent to me. I did not expect to receive this. By the way, I bought Dior Sauvage Eau Forte myself. If you missed my little vlog and first impressions video I did, you can check that out here. This one I did an unboxing of just because it arrived. This is the brand new Myself Lip Parfum from YSL. I had no plans of buying this because I did try the original in a store. I didn't care for it, so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna really worry about this collection, this line. And then this thing showed up in the mail. So I smelled it in a first impressions little short video I did. I liked it. It wasn't remarkable enough to me, but it was at least good enough for me to try to wear it on skin, which I did just a handful of days ago, and I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed the wearing experience of this. Now, I can't say it was special. It wasn't really anything different, but it was a little bit more substantial than I was expecting it to be. This is a mostly clean, fresh smelling white floral scent. I get this sweet, almost beachy white floral, borderline powdery creamy freshness, but in the lip parfum version it is underscored by a good bit of patchouli. The patchouli here is more forward. I can't say it was in the original because I don't know, but it's definitely in here, bringing this damp woody earthiness to it, and I think that's what really made me fall for the scent more and more as I wore it throughout the day. It lasted all day on my skin. It was not going anywhere, and as the cherry on top, my wife kept complimenting on how great this smelled on me, and I was thoroughly surprised by that. I thought she was gonna say it was basic, and when you first spray it on, it does maybe smell a little bit basic. It is leaning in that direction, but it gets a little bit of character as it dries. The deep dry down, I was really enjoying it, so I am gonna keep wearing this stuff, and maybe I'll feature it some more. I'd like to know what you think if you've tried it. Once again, nothing super special, but very likable and has some interest to it. YSL Myself Lip Parfum. All right, I know a lot of you guys came here for not so favorable reviews. You want to see the negative stuff. You want to see the critical stuff to offset all the positive, because us reviewers, we can't talk any negative about stuff we get for free. So it's been said. Viktor and Rolf Spicebomb Dark Leather. I was really excited for this. I haven't really been keeping up with Spicebomb at all. Haven't really been too concerned with the line, but I do know that there's some good ones out there. I thought they were gonna double down on the leather in this fragrance while still tying it to the original Spicebomb. And if you saw my first impressions video, you will see that at least my first impressions were not that experienced. Actually, I wore this for the first time yesterday, and I spent the whole day with it from about 10 a.m. until about 6-7 p.m. just trying to detect it around me on my skin, and I just kept forgetting about it. First of all, for whatever reason on me, it is a very light fragrance. Now that is fine. I don't mind light performance. However, if I can't smell it, if I can't actually take a whiff and get an idea of like, oh, this is what this scent smells like, this is its personality, then I can't enjoy it. It was so hollow smelling to me. I get this really safe fragrance, and that I think is what was most disappointing for me. I was expecting a leather fragrance. The leather here is very supple, very soft and wispy. It is a relatively dark scent, but not living up to the name, honestly. It's kind of sweet, warm, a little spicy. I don't get a ton of spice on my skin. The first spray, when I first did the full application with a few sprays, I was smelling it. I was like, okay, there it is. It wasn't anything mind-blowing, but I'm like, okay, I like this. It's pleasant. It's fine. And then after about 30 minutes, I was looking for it, and it wasn't gone because I caught wafts here and there throughout the day, but I just wasn't getting a good idea of what it actually smells like. Some of you guys seem to have a different experience with this, where you spray it on and you get that very present, noticeable cloud for maybe 6 to 8 hours, and I'm happy for you. I'm not going to say that this is objectively a terrible scent that is not worth looking into. This is just my experience, and my experience is this is not what I was hoping it would be, and for whatever reason, it's shy for me, and that's okay. You know, there's nothing wrong with an intimate scent profile that can have a beautiful function in your collection if you need something more intimate, something that sits closer to the skin, that's not boisterous, something that's easy to be next to. This could be that, but there's just not a lot of character. I was just expecting more personality, more leather, and live up to the name of dark leather. This is kind of like partially lit suede. Anyway, not bad. Viktor and Rolf Spicebomb Dark Leather. Let me know what you think. And while we're on the topic of leather fragrances that did not really do what I hoped, this was another one that was sent to me from someone connected to Estee Lauder from Tom Ford. One of their newest releases has been getting a lot of buzz. I've been seeing a lot of people feeling the way I feel, but I am happy to see that there are people who like this. Keep liking it if you like it. That's what matters the most in this whole video. But this is the brand new Tom Ford Eau d'Ombre leather. I have the original ombre leather. I like it. I don't love it, but I do like it quite a bit, and I understand why people enjoy it so much. I haven't tried the Parfum to much extent beyond a blotter in a store. And this one, I don't know what was going on with this one. I was expecting this to smell like ombre leather for one. It doesn't. Okay, well, what does it smell like? Well, a lot of people say it smells like YSL Baby Cat. I could kind of see that vibe. To me, it reminds me of a couple of releases I've tried from Goldfield and Banks, like Purple Suede, Island Lush. That's a good collection of fragrances. They're on like the powdery, leathery, sweet, rich, but fresh side of things. This is in that realm. It doesn't smell like ombre leather to me. It smells like vanilla with a little bit of leather. I get this like purple feeling from the scent. I can't really describe why it smells that way to me. On my skin, it was confusing. I wore it for a day and I just was getting wafts of it. I could smell it no problem. And I was just like,
what am I wearing again?
Eau d'Ombre leather. It smells like vanilla. It just turned into something that has nothing to do with the name and the collection. And I know with the Sauvage flanker, I said that was okay. And in my experience, it is okay because it's also quite unique. It smells like nothing else that I've really experienced. So it's interesting. This doesn't necessarily smell unique. It doesn't smell bad. It just, as a new release, as a flanker to this very acclaimed line, sample it, try it if you want, but if you're looking for something to really stand beside ombre leather as a powerful and strong release, I can't say this is one, but it is pleasant. You still might like it, so try it for yourself. That is Tom Ford Eau d'Ombre leather. All right, we've kind of talked about the great, we've talked about the not so great, and right now I'm gonna end off with something in the middle. It's a fragrance that I like, but at the same time, I'm a little disappointed in it, and some of you might be surprised to hear this, and hopefully not too disappointed to hear it as well, whether or not you've tried it. This is from Kilian, their latest launch that was sent to me by surprise, was not expecting this. I did do a whole vlog, first impressions video already on this. If you missed it, you can check it out here. And I just wanted to present a final wrap up in this video of Old Fashioned. Now, you've probably seen a lot of people saying this is great and it smells great. They nailed the inspiration and all that. Honestly, I don't disagree with that. I think this is a really, really great smelling fragrance. It is one of those fragrances that the opening is the best part. You spray this on and man, it is so beautifully and authentically boozy. It does smell like whiskey with this aged, dry, wooden feel. It doesn't smell exactly like an old fashioned, but it is reminiscent. But at the same time, I don't see how they could really make it smell just like an old fashioned. So I wasn't really expecting that. That's totally fine. It has some character when you first spray it on, but when it dries down, and even a little bit at the beginning, I was trying to not see it for the way I was perceiving it at the beginning. But the problem with this fragrance is that it's just a little redundant. If you've tried Apple Brandy on the Rocks from Kilian, which came out in the last few years, this smells eerily similar to that. Not the same. They do have differences, but it's too similar to it for me to call it a new and novel release that's not redundant to the Apple Brandy. Now, as I've said in that previous video, if you have Apple Brandy, I don't think you need this, because ultimately they do dry down pretty dang similar. In fact, in that video, I mentioned that I saw Grace when I had this on for a few hours. I gave her a hug and she said, are you wearing Kilian? And I was like, how the heck would she know that? And I said, yes, I am wearing Kilian. This is their newest fragrance, Old Fashioned. And she said, oh, I thought it was Apple Brandy on the Rocks. That's why I thought it was Kilian, because it smells like that. And I was like, okay, well, you're not alone there, because I felt the same way. So that's just my thoughts on it. If you haven't tried Apple Brandy on the Rocks, then yeah, give this a try. You'll probably love it and you'll probably get it and wear it. If you already have Apple Brandy, I would say you don't need this. Maybe sample just to be sure for yourself. But I was just a little disappointed. I was expecting this to differentiate itself even more from everything they've released in this collection, but it does have this similar feel and foundation as that other fragrance. So I'm going to keep wearing it. I do enjoy it. I'll maybe switch back and forth between this and Apple Brandy on the Rocks throughout the fall and winter seasons, but it just didn't really do what I was hoping it would. Anyway, still good stuff. That is Old Fashioned from Kilian. Let me know what you think if you've tried it. The last thing I want to do is discourage any of you guys from trying these fragrances if you haven't yet tried them. Again, if I said something unfavorable, please don't take it as a reason to not even try it for yourself, because my nose is not your nose and your nose matters so much more to your experience than my nose does, because I just have one nose and it's on this side of the camera. It's nowhere near where you are and it's not going to guide you through your life. So please follow your nose. I'm going to link to everything down in the description if you want to try this stuff. And once again, if you have tried any of these, let me and everyone else know your experience down in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.